Hey everyone, so today we're jumping into a really fascinating puzzle. We all know East Asia is a hotbed of tech and innovation, right? But their cutting edge digital economy, well, it's pretty much being built on the US dollar. How does that work? Let's get into it. And this is the central question we're tackling today. You've got this region that's an absolute economic powerhouse, pushing the boundaries of technology, yet for its digital future, it's relying on someone else's currency. It's a contradiction that tells us a whole lot about where power really sits in the 21st century economy. Okay, first things first, let's make sure we're on the same page with a key term here, the stablecoin. Now, unlike something wild like Bitcoin, a stablecoin is built for, well, stability. Its whole job is to hold its value. You can think of it like a digital poker chip that you can always cash in for $1. It's the essential bridge connecting old school finance with the new digital world. But here's the thing. When we talk about these incredibly important digital currencies, it is not a level playing field, not even close. In fact, one currency doesn't just lead the pack, it basically is the pack. And the numbers are just staggering. We're talking about over $150 billion. And get this, that's just the market cap for stablecoins tied to the US dollar. This isn't some tiny niche market we're looking at. It's a massive, systemically important piece of the entire digital financial puzzle. This chart right here says it all. I mean, look at that. A whopping 99% of the entire stablecoin market is pegged to the US dollar. Every other currency in the world, the euro, the yen, the Swiss franc, you name it, they're all crammed into that tiny little 1% sliver. That's not just dominance, that's a near perfect monopoly. So you see a number like 99%, and you gotta ask, right? Why would anyone even try to compete with that? Why would these major economies pour so much time, money, and effort into what looks like a completely unwinnable fight? Well, because the reasons are incredibly powerful. This is about way more than just currency. For places like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore, it's about breaking their dependency on the US. It's about sparking their own wave of digital innovation, making trade faster and cheaper, and maybe most importantly, taking back control over the fundamental plumbing of their own financial systems. And this quote just nails it. This isn't just some business venture, it's a strategic mission. It's a quest for digital monetary sovereignty in a world where everything, money, commerce, power, is moving online. So the ambition is crystal clear, but it keeps slamming into the hard reality of that 99% number we saw. The dream is there, but something is stopping it from happening. So what are these invisible forces holding them back? It really boils down to three massive market forces stacked against any potential challenger. First, you've got the dollar's incredible network effect. Second, a confusing maze of different regulations across the region. And third, a brand new, very powerful competitor, the governments themselves. Let's break each one down. Let's start with the big one, the dollar's gravitational pull. Seriously, think of the digital dollar like the sun in our solar system. Its gravitation is so powerful that it just pulls everything else into its orbit. You don't really have a choice. And here's how that gravity works. It's what's called a self-reinforcing loop. Almost all digital assets are priced in dollars, which means traders need dollar-pegged stablecoins to trade them. That creates huge demand and liquidity, which in turn makes everyone else price their new assets in dollars too. See the loop? So, the bottom line is this. To do business in the digital world, you need digital dollars. Everybody uses them because, well, everybody else is using them. It's a classic network effect. And breaking that is unbelievably difficult. You're not just launching a new product. You're trying to change the behavior of the entire global market. Okay, but let's say, just for a second, that you could overcome that massive network effect. Well, you'd immediately crash into another wall, bureaucracy. See, the US is basically one giant market with one set of federal rules. East Asia, even though it's economically connected, is made up of tons of different countries, and every single one has its own laws for finance. It's a total patchwork. So what does that actually mean? It means trying to launch, say, a digital yen and get it approved everywhere is going to be slow, crazy expensive, and a legal nightmare. You just can't get the scale you need to compete with the dollar if you're bogged down fighting legal battles country by country. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful roadblock of them all. This isn't about private companies competing with other private companies. This is about competing with the state itself. This question right here really gets to the core of the problem. Governments aren't just sitting on the sidelines watching this happen. They're in the game now, building their own official digital money, these central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. I mean, think about it from their perspective.
Why would the Chinese government, after spending years and a fortune developing its own digital yuan, ever let a private company with a yen-pegged stablecoin come in and compete? They wouldn't. These official government projects can basically crowd out any private competition before it even gets off the ground.
So when you piece all this together, the dollar's gravity, the regulatory maze, and now government competition, what you're really seeing is the opening act of a huge showdown over the future of money itself. And you can see the two competing visions right here. You've got the private stablecoins on one side. They're built by companies, they're mostly backed by US dollars, and their goal is smooth global commerce. Then on the other side, you have these public CBDCs issued by central banks, backed by their own national currency, and their goal is sovereign control. These aren't just different kinds of tech, they are fundamentally different ideas about who should control money.
And that is the biggest takeaway from all of this. The reason it's so tough to build an East Asian stablecoin isn't just some local issue. It's a sneak peek at a much bigger global fight that's coming. It's a battle between a borderless, private, dollar-based internet of money and a new world of state-controlled national digital currencies.
Which leaves us with this final, massive question. Is the future of finance going to be unified under one digital dollar standard? Or is it going to fracture into competing digital currency zones, a dollar block, a euro block, a yuan block, completely redrawing the economic map of the world? The honest answer is we don't know yet, but the battle for that future is just getting started.